Welcome, Watchers of Illusion, to my Castle of Confusion. It's a Sunday review. It's the 27th of August, episode 641. 641 videos. Holy cow. Well, 640 different games or 640 games across several different systems, even if it's repeated ones through different systems, but holy, I can't believe it, 641. Anyway, this is the Ooze, the Escape on the Amiga, which is basically a conversion from the ZX Spectrum and Commodore 64 versions of the same game, which I will be looking at in the future. But this feels like an Amiga game. I know that sounds really stupid, but do you know what I mean? This really reminds me of like Globule. It reminds me of Putty. That's the one. Putty, yes. Which, you know, that's high praise indeed, because those games are very good as well. Now, this is a really nice game. I would have said that this would probably have been in the budget range of the Amiga games, probably something $4.99-ish, but these days probably about a tenner. But this is absolutely free. But if you'd like to go and download the game yourselves, maybe give the developers a bit of a tip, because they deserve it. This is absolutely brilliant fun, actually. And I'm just going to tell you, this is my second play, because I'd got all this done earlier today, and then I did all the voiceover and everything else while I was playing, put it all together, and well, my microphone hadn't been plugged in, so it took it off my webcam and it sounded absolutely abysmal. So this is take two, so I have got a little bit of an experience playing the game, but not by a lot. But yeah, so this is a really cool game. So the idea is you got to find all the different coloured key cards, and you're going to escape the laboratories. So there you go. You see that I've got a red key already. So you've got to find the key room to stick these in, and then anything that's got a red barrier will be cleared, and you can go through at your leisure, which is great. I absolutely love the enemy designs. You got one there, looks like one of the spheres from Terrorhawks, which is nice. Yeah, nice. And then you got a thing on a spring at the bottom. Yay! So, but yeah, it does. It feels very much like an Amiga game should. It sounds like an Amiga game should, and looks like an Amiga game should. In fact, it's just should be, and is an Amiga game. I hope you get what I mean by that. But I just like the simplicity of it. The animations are cute and work really well. The platforms and the screens are all set out really nicely. There doesn't seem to be any sort of problems navigating the screens. Timings are all there for the enemies to be in your way or not in your way. You've got to make the decision on when to move, etc., etc. It's actually very well put together. So high praise for the developer on this one. I'm enjoying this very much, by the way. It's my second go through, but I love it. Absolutely love it. Control-wise, very, very simple, but very, very effective. Left and right, up and down, fire, and that's it. That's all you got to worry about. So I've got the red key, but I can't go through the red barrier. I think I've got to find the key room. We'll go and have a hunt around for that now. So yes, you have this like anti-gravity ability, which you can see there. So you can move up or down the screen by pushing your fire button, and it will move you to the bottom or the top regarding where you are. So you can navigate screens quite nicely with that, and oh, drop down too early. Lots of things to kill you in this game, I will tell you that now. Anything that looks remotely friendly, don't even bother. So there's purple gate there, so we've got to find a purple key and a blue key here. There's traps all over the place. You can see there's steel doors, which really don't want to be your friend. In fact, they look like they just want to eat you. But it's very, very well put together. Ah, what's this? Is this the key room? It's the key room! So now, any red barriers should now be dispelled. Lovely. The sound and music, there's option here. You can either have sound or music. I actually really like the soundtrack. I have heard the sound effects. There's lots of them. But the music's just so damn bouncy that I've decided to keep that on for the review. So, but you can switch at any time. You can press S on the keyboard to switch to music and or sound, whichever is your preference. If you don't want to hear the music, switch to sound effects. There's plenty of them, but I'll let you figure that out. There you go. The red door is open, so we can go through the jaw traps here. and carry on through the level. Because we are on. And there's a map in the bottom right in the corner of the screen, which is really cool. And your lives, which are in the bottom left, and there's no score on this. But then on the right-hand panel, you can see what you've collected, keys, etc. So that's cool as well. During the game, you'll find extra lives, which look like little blobs, little green blobs with faces, so you don't get them mixed up for just general goo and go and kill yourself, because that can happen. But look at the little robot. It's Robot 1. Just really nicely presented, and everything is put in the right places for this. It's just a very enjoyable game. I would say that for play value, you're just going to, of course, it's got that playability factor. It's a great game, and it's going to keep you going for a while, which is always a nice thing. And oh, I didn't time that very well, did I? But yeah, so playability up there in the high scores. Replay value, well, if you're a completionist, you're going to want to come back to this until you finished it anyway. But yeah, I'd come back to this game because it's just fun, and fun for me is the key. Not, you know, graphically, I think it's great graphically, don't get me wrong, but you know, games of today's caliber are always focused on what they look like, not what they play like. So this is a great game for example of what a game should be. A lot of fun and a lot of replay value. So yes, Ooze the Escape. That's the game you're looking for. I will put a link in the description for you, so you can go and download it yourself and give it a play. Works on real Amigas and WinUAE, which is what I'm playing it on now. Make sure that your WinUAE is up to date though. Anything below version 5.0, and the game does have some issues with collision. Other than that, it works a dream. But yeah, hence why this is my second run through, because I tried it on WinUAE 4.91, and yeah, it didn't like it very much. I played the game perfectly fine, but I couldn't pick anything up. None of the keys were able to be collected and stuff like that. So make sure you're all up to date with that as well. So there you go. I will be looking at the C64 and the Spectrum versions of this at some point, like I said earlier. I hope that's something you'll look forward to. So let's have a look at age rating, which is pretty much any, because, well, it's for everyone. It's not just for kids, it's for adults too. Some of the screens can be a bit tricky to navigate, so that'll be good for you adults, and just the general aesthetic of the game is going to be absolutely fantastic for the little ones to play with, because they always love these sort of cartoony style games, which is great. This would have been a game that I would have thought back in the day would have been like something that Hewson would have put together. I was going to say Codemasters, but I think it's more of a Hewson type sort of style to it, which is really nice. And it's going to bring players in and keep them engaged for a while. So that's my take on that. So yeah, any age group, and just give it a go. It's a fun game, and fun is the key. It's a single player game, but if you wanted to add a multiplayer element to it, then you can always have turns. So if you lose a life, pass the controller, or you can try and beat each other's sort of record on the speed in which you complete the game. Anything along those lines. Turn a single player into a multiplayer. Always good fun. Let's get through these. Can't get through that way. And I died instantly after getting an extra life. Anyway, I'll be back very soon with an Amstrad review, because that's next on my list from the poll, followed by Commodore 64, followed by MSX, and I've got a bit of a belter on that one for you as well. So that's what's coming up in the very near future. Have a look for an Amstrad review coming your way very soon. But until then, my friends, it's time for me to vamushk, and as usual, keep it retro, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks a lot for tuning in, very much appreciate it. Thank you very much, and goodbye.